It's the morning news on WBAP.com. We're joined by our old friend Jeremy Rosenthal, a legal expert, the founder of TexasDefenseFirm.com, about something that I think we're going to see more of. They're called AI hallucinations, artificial intelligence hallucinations. And what's happening is a lot of people are going into court. There's 120 of these cases right now where they found out that the lawyers or maybe the lawyer's assistants didn't really look anything up. They just kind of went to AI and said, write me a legal brief. That's what you're doing on the side, isn't it, Jeremy?
Well, what's important is that you bill for every minute of it, whether you're regardless of who's writing the brief. That's what's really fundamental here.
That's very important. But AI is handy. I use ChatGPT quite a bit, and it can do a lot of things, but I wouldn't trust it to know anything.
No, I'm finding in my own practice that I'm getting more and more comfortable with ChatGPT, with AI, but it's got boundaries. You're the human, you're the professional, you have to be on top of your game. And what we're finding is that AI will fake it until it makes it. It's like normal intelligence, and it will hallucinate. It will misinterpret patterns. Case law can be very complicated, and it's not as simple as just reading one opinion and then just saying, well, okay, this is the law. They're fragmented. There's different courts that say different things. It's just not that simple.
It seems like it would be very lazy if I, was a lawyer, somebody hired me and this is what I was doing. I mean, I could just do that myself, I suppose.
Tragically, you're right.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a lawyer. I love being a lawyer. I was born to make a big deal out of little things. This is what I love to do. I love my profession, but you're exactly right. This is pure laziness, and it leads to injustice. That's the tragic part, because if lawyers are being lazy, judges are being lazy, and they're not fact-checking it either. What we're reading about are the cases where a grown-up catches it.
Yeah, they'll find that you're citing a case that doesn't exist, that just made it up.
Wow.
That's right. That's right. And can you imagine? It's one thing to go to jail if you're innocent, or if you go to court and you win a contract case or you lose a contract case, a landlord-tenant, it doesn't matter. If somebody got on the witness stand and lied, that would be a travesty. This is no different. You're having the judge rule on something that just isn't the law. And it's really scary.
It sounds like somebody would get there. I always say I have a Law and Order degree. I've watched all the episodes of Law and Order, and that's what I know about the law.
Right. Yeah. It's really. You hope that again that you have to find the boundaries, and the rules of court are such that a lawyer has what's called a duty of candor to the tribunal, meaning that we've got to be honest with the court and accurate with the court. And also we have to zealously represent our clients, which means you can't just mail it in like this.
All right, Jeremy Rosenthal with us from TexasDefenseFirm.com. Jeremy, I'm going to ask you about AI in general, because it is going to make its way into court, and there's no way it's going to be stopped. I mean, the bottom line is we're going to have cases about AI, information that it prints, information that it offers, videos that are not real. I see those all the time online. I'm curious how the courts are going to handle this, and I'm curious how we are as a society are going to handle it when we start to see political ads and don't know that we're looking at fake.
It's scary, Ernie. And think about it like this: we have really developed rules of court that ought to be able to catch and filter these things. You have to be able to do what's called authenticating certain evidence in court. Now, what happens is a lot of times, because we're in trial all day, every day, and because we just kind of want to keep things moving, there's a tendency for lawyers and judges to say, well, okay, this is good enough, and to let it in. But if we stick to our principles, if we stick to the rules of evidence and the U.S. Constitution, there ought to be an answer. But the key is the human component, to be diligent enough and not lazy enough to catch it. That's the trick.
Yes, that is the word, the L word that you use, the laziness. So if I need legal representation right now, or I'm in the process of it, should I just go ahead and ask my lawyer, hey, are you by any chance using AI for my defense or my trial here? And if so, can we make sure it's the real deal?
There's no such thing as a bad question to your doctor, to your lawyer, to your accountant. There's no such thing as a bad question, and you have to be diligent as the client. And again, I'm more and more comfortable with it because what I'll do is I'll plug a question in. If I kind of know the answer, I'll plug a question in. I read the cases that it gives me. Okay, I know that one. I know that one. I'm not familiar with that one. Let's look and see what this is about. I see here. And there have been plenty of instances when I'm using AI where it's not a hallucination. It just doesn't understand. It just doesn't understand, okay, this case was overruled 10 years ago, but I could see how AI would think that this is good law. Or AI just doesn't understand how crazy they are in the Texarkana Court of Appeals, right? So we know that everybody's going to ignore that in real life. That's the professional override.
All right, last question for you, and this is something I think is rather important. It seems like as a defense lawyer, if somebody walks in with video or audio evidence, all I would have to do is raise the idea that this is fake. And one of those jurors is going to say, well, I don't know, maybe it is.
Yeah, that's not a defense that I'm going to, if I'm relying on that, we got problems, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, more and more, I think you're probably going to be right that you can say, look, you know, that's fake. And if you've got enemies, if you can get set up, yeah, sure. Typically, most cases are a lot more complicated and involved, and if you have 17 pieces of evidence to explain away, and that's ultimately where you're going, it's time to get a deal.
All right. Jeremy Rosenthal is founder of TexasDefenseFirm.com. Jeremy, always a pleasure. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Have a great morning.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.